Affirmative action is back in the spotlight. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case in which a student was denied admission to a college because of her race. We're joined by WGY legal analyst Paul Harding of Martin, Harding & Mazzotti. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Hey.
So this was not supposed to be heard for like 25 years, but now it's back in the news because I guess the court has agreed to hear this case. Are you surprised that they're taking it on?
Well, I don't know if I'm surprised, but I am almost certain that by them agreeing to take this on, that we're going to see this case, it's going to be overturned. The prior case can be overturned or really limited in terms of using racial preferences in college admission. The makeup of the court in 2003 when this case came out, and yes, they said we'll revisit this in 25 years, but the makeup of the court, those who were in the dissenting, who thought that this policy should not go forth, are now in the majority, and they've got others who are behind them. So I think this does not bode well for those who support the affirmative action for college admission.
So just to back up a little bit, in 2003, the court ruled that public colleges and universities could use a kind of a vague way to factor race in to ensure some kind of diversity in their student body. Not assigning a point system, but they were allowed to kind of incorporate that somehow. And they ruled that that was okay. Now a student is suing because she was not admitted to a college because she's white.
Right.
So they're now revisiting this sooner than they thought they would.
Yeah, absolutely. What you say is absolutely correct, and the general theme is that the folks who have, again, the Supreme Court accepts what cases it wants to hear. Less than 0.5% of the cases that are asked to be heard by the Supreme Court of the United States get heard. So as a general proposition, when they say yes, they want to speak on.
You know,
the issue.
something's going on. Yeah, and this was a white student who was denied admission to the University of Texas, who said she had much better grades than some minority students who were admitted. So that's the basis of that case. Hey, real quickly before we let you go, Paul, and we're talking to Paul Harding from Martin, Harding & Mazzotti. There was news this week that the New York Police Department was surveilling Muslim students, including some at SUNY Albany. They were looking at the Muslim Student Association, and there's a question of warrants and all that type of whether the surveillance was illegal. I know we just sprung this on you just before we came on the air, but what do you know about this case, and do you suspect there'll be some sort of a legal battle on this one?
Yeah, hold on to your hats on this one. This one is just as I heard about it yesterday, and I read a little bit during the last 3 minutes before I went on.
Yeah.
But it's got all the underpinnings of something that politically charged. Again, we've got 9/11. You talked to me about the 2001, 2003, or 4. I think it would be something that politically people could come out and say, we're protecting our country, and maybe that's still the argument they're going to make. But there are rules, and it would appear that the rules, civil rights violations here, are going to supersede this desire for the law enforcement to do whatever it has to do to ensure safety. And I'm not saying that isn't necessarily a good argument on the law enforcement side, but this thing is brewing. And if they've gone ahead, University of Buffalo, University of Albany, and they have gone through and done surveillance without any authority via the courts. And what the courts say, you have enough information here to go forward and look at this private stuff. Mm-hmm. It appears, at least the allegations suggest, that they just went through and they profiled, which is the key word here, Muslim groups, and they went ahead and they went a little too deep. And I think this is going to turn into not only a New York issue, but this is going to get big nationally.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting case because they didn't have any warrant or anything like that. But on the other hand, it seems like the officers from the NYPD Cyber Intelligence Unit, they visited websites and blogs and forums from the Muslim Student Association. So it seems like, yeah, they were targeting them perhaps without cause and certainly without a warrant. On the other hand, it seems like these blogs and websites are in the public domain, no? So that's an issue also to be considered.
I think if it were that simple, I don't think it would be brewing the way it's brewing. Yeah, as you read it, they're saying, look, we read what was out there in the general public. We saw this. It had a funny smell to it, so we kept looking. I think that there's just, when there's smoke, there's fire. I think we're going to find that that the folks who are protesting this suspect that things are running a little deeper than that.
Well, potentially two huge cases. We'll keep tabs on them. Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
thanks so much.
Okay, guys.
All right, WGY legal analyst Paul Harding of Martin Harding and Mazzotti, 1-800-LAW-1010.